We light this chalice as a symbol of faith and in recognition of the light of divinity we each carry within us, each adding to the beacon of light, of love, and of friendship. If you can't hear me, feel free to do this and I will speak louder, louder, louder. Okay. Okay. Today we are going to explore what it means to belong to one another. There is an Ojibwe prayer in our hymnal that reads, "Grandfather, look at our brokenness. We know that in all creation, only the human family has strayed from the sacred way. We know that we are the ones who are divided, and we are the ones who must come back together to walk the sacred way. Grandfather, sacred one, teach us love, compassion, and honor, that we may heal the earth and heal each other." Our service today centers on the mystical aspects of belonging and practical ways to demonstrate such belonging in our lives. May all those peaceably seeking spiritual solace feel welcome here today. Might take a little finagling up here, so bear with me on how I'm posing and we'll get through this. That's what friends are for. I never thought I'd feel this way, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm glad I got the chance to say that I do believe I love you. And if I should ever go away, well then close your eyes and try to feel the way we do today. And then, if you can, remember, keep smiling, keep shining, knowing you can always count on me, for sure. That's what friends are for. For the good times and bad times, I'll be on your side forevermore. That's what friends are for. Whenever you have the opportunity to pause and consider the friends you have in your life, please do so. It just takes a moment of gratitude to send out that love to them. Consider, too, the kind of friend you are to other people. In a moment, we're going to hear that beautiful song played on piano. So take that time during the offertory to think about your friends and to think about you as friend. Consider with me this. There is a divine echo that whispers within every heart. Indeed, that every soul carries with it the echo of an intrinsic intimacy, an original echo that is brought forth through time from original source, a primal source where we are all one, where love has no limit and freedom has no barrier. And we carry the essence of this original echo as a talisman of our divinity and a reminder of the vast belonging we are all part of, because it is who we are. We belong to one another. Consider that this divine echo, the one I carry, the one each of you carry, are in constant recognition of the other. When we are harmonious with each other, the recognition alights us with positive, light, joyful, peaceful feelings, whereas the negative, sad, fearful, or angry emotions we feel about each other are a result of the echo noticing the disharmony with oneness. The Celtic spiritual tradition has a phrase that identifies this sense of oneness. It's called Anam, Ċara, soul friends. More than words, it's a concept imbued with deep meaning, derived from the understanding of the soul as a divine echo. Consider that each of our souls has a signature resonance that radiates through and around our physical bodies. And when we come into contact with others, especially our Anam, Ċara, an awakening takes place, an awareness of the connection. In our modern day, some romanticize this feeling and create limits around its capacity, suggesting that only one other person on this entire planet could be your Anam, Ċara, a soulmate, singular. But the embodiment of Anam, Ċara is much far-reaching than that. Anam, Ċara is a blessing we all have access to, and we can all share with each other. When you have found the most sacred place of belonging, where your inner light recognizes and is recognized by those in your company, you have found home. When you have found the most sacred place of belonging, where your inner light recognizes and is recognized by those in your company, you have found home. And it is there that Anam, Ċara resides. And it is there that Anam, Ċara can be explored. And it is also there that Anam, Ċara can be challenged and will be. For it is within our most intimate relationships that our deep bonds are formed. And to experience intimacy, one must be vulnerable. And to be vulnerable in the midst of others who are imperfectly perfect as we are, we risk being hurt. But we also open to being nurtured and healed. I ask you to consider that while we may know things about each other, it does not mean we know each other. Yes, while we know things about each other, it does not mean we know each other. Opening to Anam, Ċara gives us the opportunity to know each other. Anam, Ċara, soul friends. Consider that this divine echo is our touchstone, our reminder that we are Anam, Ċara, and our promise that we are a blessing to each other. My friend and colleague, the Reverend Ian White-Marr, who is currently serving the UU congregation in Montreal, Canada, teaches that when you bless someone, everything in your life changes. Some here may be familiar with the words of philosopher and poet John O'Donohue in his Friendship Blessing, where he says, "May you be blessed with good friends. May you learn to be a good friend to yourself. May you be able to journey to that place in your soul where there is great love, warmth, feeling, and forgiveness. And may this change you. May it transfigure that which is negative, distant, or cold in you. May you be brought to the real passion, kinship, and affinity of belonging. May you treasure your friends. May you be good to them, and may you be there for them. May they bring you all the blessing, challenges, truth, and light that you need for your journey. May you never be isolated. May you always be in the gentle nest of belonging with your Anam, Ċara." So says John O'Donohue. Throughout time, many have spoken about the priceless value of friendship and of friendship's complexities. Unitarian forefather Ralph Waldo Emerson asserted, I do not wish to treat friendship daintily, but with roughest courage. When they are in need, when they are real, when friendships are real, they are not glass threads or frostwork, but the solidest thing we know. Aristotle also spoke of friendship in the highest kind of friendship being one of virtue. The kind of friendship where you are friends with someone because of the kind of person he or she is, that is, because of his or her virtues. In Aristotle's day, virtues would have meant ethics. And within the realm of our faith traditions, we would be speaking of our shared principles, our shared values, that which we hold to be sacred and true, and how we live into them. Aristotle spoke, too, of the partnership of friendships, the idea of the virtuous friend as another self, joined as in the echo of divinity, friends holding mirrors up to one another so they can have access to see themselves. Do you picture your friendships with mirrors reflecting you back? Seeing yourself more fully, and in doing so, improve the quality of the people they are. And in doing that, enhancing the quality of the friendships they have. Helen Schuckman, in her relaying in A Course in Miracles, also referred to the mirror of friendship. She says, your sibling is the mirror in which you see the image of yourself. She urged us to seek to recognize our spiritual siblings both as means for salvation and as mechanism of blessing and being blessed. She affirms, you will not see the light until you offer it to your siblings. As they take it from your hands, so you will recognize it as your own. Helen declares that when we meet anyone, to remember it is a holy encounter. We heard that this morning. Someone here had a holy encounter on a bus ride. It's incredible, the moments that we are gifted with. These holy encounters, Helen says this, as you see them, your sibling, you will see yourself. As you treat them, you will treat yourself. As you think of them, you will think of yourself. Never forget this, she says, for in them you will find yourself or lose yourself. She continues by explaining, whenever two children of God meet, they are given another chance at salvation. And I know God language does not always fit in Unitarian Universalist congregations, but the sentiment of something greater than ourselves always fits. Helen says, do not leave anyone without giving salvation to them and receiving it yourself. In other words, your Anam Ċara is always there with you, in remembrance of you. Poet and author David White takes this theme to an even deeper level, suggesting friendship is not only a mirror to presence, but a testament to forgiveness. He says friendship not only helps us see ourselves through another's eye, but can be sustained over the years only with someone who has repeatedly forgiven us for our trespasses, as we must find it in ourselves to forgive them in turn. A friend knows our difficulties and shadows and remains in sight. A companion to our vulnerabilities more than our triumphs when we are under the strange illusion that we do not need them. An undercurrent of real friendship is a blessing exactly because its elemental form is rediscovered again and again through understanding and mercy. All friendships of length are based on a continued mutual forgiveness, without tolerance and mercy, all friendships would die. David White says, friendship is a merited grace, one that requires us the unrelenting commitment of being present and bearing witness to one another over and over. It is within the sacred space of this deep dynamic of friendship that we not only know things about each other, but where we really know each other. Ian Whitemare, my friend whose words I shared already in this sermon, revealing to us that when we bless someone, everything in our life changes. He also talks about the deep need for empathetic witness, the kind of seeing and being seen that only happens in the close circles of family, of community, of relationships, in our Anam Ċara friendships. In the Buddhist tradition, this kind of friendship is called the noble friend, Kalyana Mitra. Kalyana Mitra, noble friends, have no pretense between them. They witness in empathy and in action with clear communication and by gentle strength, confronting each other with our blind spots. Friendship at this level are able to navigate challenges and heal wounds, for they are willing to negotiate beyond the awkwardness and uncertainties that are paramount when our vulnerabilities are exposed. It requires humility as well as to be open to seeing through another's experience what we are unable to perceive on our own. It requires grace to accept this sight without defensiveness. It requires grace to offer this sight without judgment. To be present with each other in this way is a testament of trust and the embodiment of faith. Faith is certainly needed when we shine the gentle light of the soul on our wounds. And I'm going to say that again. Faith is certainly needed when we shine the gentle light of the soul on our wounds. We are indeed a wounded gift to each other, but a beloved gift nonetheless. David White speaks about the benefit of this depth of friendship in saying the ultimate touchstone of friendship is witness, the privilege of having been seen by someone and the equal privilege of being granted the sight of the essence of another, and to have walked with them and to have believed in them, and sometimes just to have accompanied them on a journey impossible to accomplish alone. Some believe that it is the hard times that make us stronger. I believe it is the good we are wrapped up in while facing hard times, the love of our family, our friends, our community, that are what make us stronger, that help us carry these broken pieces, keep us moving forward, keep us whole, even when we feel like we're shattering. This good that we're wrapped up in is the beloved community we all seek, and I believe you have found here. As a faith community, how do we become accessible to facilitating the nurturing of that kind of friendship? Author Anne Lamott has some advice for us where we could see ourselves as lighthouses. She points out that lighthouses don't go running all around an island looking for people to save. A lighthouse stands there shining. And every day that this congregation opens its doors in person and online, you stand there as a lighthouse shining, beckoning those who would be saved from the heartaches of the world into this loving embrace, beckoning our siblings, our Anam, Ċara, home. Anne, in her book Small Victories, Spotting Improbable Moments of Grace, has a chapter containing her essay about the Book of Welcome. Her essay could well be the outline of a liturgical midrash that attempts to fill in the spaces left blank in the Hebrew scriptures. In the Book of Welcome, Anne imagines a Bible book that was never written. She speaks of scriptures that would provide a set of guidance and assurances and principles that would create a sense of security and belonging for Earth's residents. She writes, "The Book of Welcome would have taught us that power and signs of status cannot save us, that welcome, both offering and receiving, is our source of safety." Various chapters and verses of this book would remind us that we are wanted and even occasionally delighted in, despite the unfortunate truth that we are greedy, grabby, self-referential, indulgent, overly judgmental, and often hysterical creatures. Anne's words. In her version, we would be accepted as our gifts, and for our apparent flaws. We are welcome because we belong to one another. Anne asserts that somehow that book went missing, perhaps when the editorial board of bishops pored over the canonical list from Jerusalem and Alexandria, they arbitrarily nixed the book that states unequivocally that you are wanted and even rejoiced in. She says we have to write that book ourselves. And I will pause to say that I know in our Unitarian Universalist Christian traditions, Bible texts are deeply honored. And those of us with Catholic roots also bring forward with us some, not as much, but others of us, a loving of the way that it's taught in Catholicism and even some of the Protestant churches. Even so, let's consider for a moment that it might be incomplete, or perhaps that every piece of it didn't get stitched together, or perhaps that it could have been edited a little bit more recently. She says we have to write that book of welcome ourselves. And I say, we have to write that book of welcome together and meet the moment. And we do write that book together with every encounter of welcome we share. We write that book of welcome every time we acknowledge the echo of divinity in our hearts and in our Anam, Ċara. As a congregation, you write the book of welcome every time you gather together in response to members' needs and hopes and dreams, and you write the book of welcome every time you answer the call and invite and greet new ones in. You write the book of welcome every time you unite in the name of this congregation for unity and justice and peace and being on the side of love. You write the book of welcome together every time you open the door and invite people in. A blessing for this congregation. May this house of worship be blessed. May this congregation be loving to each other. May your doors remain open to welcoming the stranger seeking spiritual solace and inspiration. May you deepen your friendships in trust and in faith. May you find peace and create peaceableness as you live into your shared and personal truths. May you be joyful and thoughtful, and may you be a light of grace, a beacon of welcome to this hurting world. And may you remember that we all belong to each other. Amen.